Hey guys, and welcome back to today's college basketball pick video. Not many more of these left this year as we head into the Final Four. We have matchups today between South Carolina and Gonzaga, as well as Oregon and North Carolina. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the South Carolina versus Gonzaga matchup and who I think is going to be the better bet against the spread in that Final Four matchup. If you're interested in getting our daily free pick over at our main website, as well as all of our top confidence bets across all major American sports right now, that includes college basketball, the NBA, the NHL, and MLB. You can head on over to stumpthespread.com, which I will link down in the video description. We've been having a tremendous amount of success in college basketball down the stretch of the regular season and into the postseason, putting up over 140 units of profit over the past 2 months, and a lot of that has been amplified in the NCAA tournament, going 17-5 against the spread in the first round of the NCAA tournament, and also having some success in some of these other smaller tournaments. Yesterday, we grabbed wins with Wyoming covering the spread, and also Texas A&M Corpus Christi covering the spread on their home court. In today's matchup, like I said, I'm going to be talking about the South Carolina versus Gonzaga matchup, but before I get into that, I also want to say you can head over to our channel to get our daily NBA Play of the Day video, as well as our MLB Play of the Day video, and if you want more of this pick video content in the future, you can click that subscribe button. So heading into today's matchup, we have the South Carolina squad, and actually when I was filling out my bracket, I did not have Gonzaga in the Final Four, but I did have South Carolina making it to the Sweet 16 and getting past Duke. I was higher on South Carolina than most coming into the tournament, but obviously even I did not have them going this far. South Carolina, they've brought that defensive intensity throughout the entire year, but what's been the difference maker for them in the NCAA tournament is what they've been able to do on the offensive side of the ball. In their opening game against Marquette, South Carolina exploded on the offensive end. That happened again in their second round game in that amazing upset they had against Duke, really putting it on the Blue Devils in the second half of that matchup. And then in their last 2 rounds, getting past some really quality teams, taking down one of the top teams from the Big 12 with their win over Baylor, and then taking out one of the top teams from their own conference, the SEC, and getting past the Florida Gators. And South Carolina has brought that defensive intensity in every single one of those wins thus far, and also showing very well on the offensive side of the ball. And a lot of that has had to do with Sindarius Thornwell really stepping up and being the go-to guy and leading this South Carolina squad. He is listed as probable for this matchup, and obviously if Thornwell is not on the court, South Carolina won't be nearly the same threat, but we do feel like he's going to be able to go today and be another difference maker here for South Carolina in the Final Four. South Carolina here going against Gonzaga. When I was filling out my bracket, I thought that Gonzaga was going to lose to West Virginia in the Sweet 16, and even though that almost happened, it did not. And Gonzaga, even though they've had some stumbling blocks along the way, they have been able to push into the Final Four, and great for this program. They've had so many tremendous years regular season-wise, and not necessarily so much in the NCAA tournament, but finally being able to make that next step and get into the Final Four, first time for their program. I'm really happy for head coach Mark Few. Gonzaga, you know, in their second-round game, a little controversial in that win against Northwestern, put up a huge lead in that one before falling apart, and then able to close that one out in the end with some help from the refs. After that, they had a very close matchup against West Virginia, but they were able to just eke that one out in the end. And really, West Virginia down the stretch had their chances against the Bulldogs, but Gonzaga was able to find a way. And then things getting a little bit more manageable there for Gonzaga in their Elite Eight matchup, taking down the 11 seed Xavier, who somehow was able to make the Elite Eight. That still blows my mind that Xavier was able to make the Elite Eight, getting out of the same area of the bracket as teams like Arizona and Florida State. You know, a great showing in the tournament there for Xavier, but Gonzaga not having nearly as tough of a path, in my opinion, to get to the Final Four as South Carolina. That could mean that they're a bit fresher coming to this one, not having to go quite as tough a path, even though their game against West Virginia was a very tough one. Outside of that, all their other games were pretty manageable in theory of matchup, in terms of overall ability of their opponent, while South Carolina really hasn't had any easy tasks thus far in the NCAA tournament. Maybe you could say their matchup against Marquette, but other than that, been a pretty brutal road here for South Carolina. Coming into this one, both of these teams are very solid on the defensive side of the ball, and as a result, I see this being as a lower scoring game, maybe somewhere in the 60s. with a outside chance at maybe getting to the 70s, but I really do expect this to be more in that 60-point range for each team. And with points coming at a premium, that makes these 7 points a little bit more valuable to South Carolina. Also, I just feel like South Carolina has been continuously overlooked by Vegas in this tournament. I've taken them against the spread in each round, and they've gone on to convincingly cover the spread in each of their matchups thus far in the tournament, and I'm really not seeing any reason why I should stray away from that recipe of success that I've had thus far in the tournament, siding with South Carolina. So heading into this matchup, we feel like South Carolina getting those 7 points is going to be the better value bet against the spread in this matchup. That's going to be today's college basketball pick video play. Again, if you're interested in getting our daily free pick as well as all of our top confidence bets across all major American sports, you can head over to our main website, stumpthespread.com, which I will link down in the video description. And if you want more of this pick video content in the future, you can click that subscribe button. Also, head on over to our channel to get our daily MLB and NBA pick videos as well. So thanks, guys, for stopping on in, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.